This is the beauty of this business. You don't have to be tech savvy
Yes.
to be successful, in this business. You can just know a little bit about computer, and
And
that's
you
my
can get absolutely. No, thank you so much. So I've just gone live on my page and just want to say hi and assalamu alaikum to everyone. I'm actually doing a live interview after a really long time. I've taken a
nice.
kind of a break, but it's
That's
amazing that I actually have Neda on my page today because she's somebody I have followed honestly since I started the business. So welcome, Neda. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
joining me
much.
today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate that. I know you have we have changed the time 1 million times,
No, that's
and
okay.
it was like in Canada. We both live in Canada. In Canada, getting a specialist to see you is like a hassle. Like you have to wait for a long time. It's not. I swear to God, it's not because I don't want to connect with people. It's just that I'm so busy,
Yeah.
and I have a big team, over 900 something people, and I have a fit kit, and I have job. And at some point, I was doing this. I was doing this, full time, like 100% of the time. I'm spending a lot of time on this. But then I realized that I'm getting physically really sick because I'm not getting any break. So now I recognize that I need to get a break. Sometimes I just have to turn off the phone and just go for
Yeah.
a walk.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I need to do that. If I don't do that, you remember Kristen was saying last week in one of the, I don't know, I saw her saying, don't keep your cups full. You need to have some
Yes.
space for yourself. You
Yes.
need to
Yes.
have some rest.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
my apology if I keep changing the time, and
No,
I'm like,
not at
go, go, go,
all.
boom, boom, boom.
I was totally fine with it as long as I got you to come because I know you're very busy. And you know what? I'd love for you to share with everyone a little bit about yourself, and then, or maybe I can. No,
Yes,
I
do
would.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Tell me
So
about Nida.
the reason and I was telling Nida this, I did not, when I wrote that little bio about her, I did not have to ask her, tell me a little bit about yourself, because I literally knew everything about her, is because I've been following her for so long. So Nida is actually from Iran. The
Yes.
one thing I don't know is how long you've been in Canada, but I do know professionally that you are an engineer by profession. You are working in the oil fields in Alberta, a very male dominated field, and to be able to hold your own. Oh my God. And then the last 6 years, from what I know, is you've been working in Toronto on the light rail transit system. Uh,
Yes.
in in the underground, actually building that whole the subway line, and it's almost nearing its completion.
Yes.
But along with that, and any woman right here who's watching us will appreciate this, is that you're also a mom. You have
Yes.
very, I'm sure they're very high energy, high strung kids. They are
Yes.
teenagers, a boy and a girl, mashallah, and they're 7 years old now. I
Yeah.
remember when I started following you, back in 2020, you had, they were 5 year old at that time.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, how is she doing this? Managing a business along with, being a full-time mom and, taking care of them as well. So hats off to you. And here
Thank
you
you so
are,
much, my love.
900 more people that you're managing. That's amazing. So
Thank
why
you so
would you,
much.
you're very welcome. So why would you take this on? Like, tell me, what is your why? Like, what made
What
you
is
do
my
something
why?
so crazy? Like,
My why
I'm sure
is,
you're making good money. Yeah.
yes, I am. I'm making more than my salary. After 9 months, I keep telling this to everyone that I started making more than my salary in this business, and it is crazy because I'm coming from a good university in Iran, and I have a good profession,
Yeah.
but making a lot of money in a corporate job, it's impossible unless you are a CEO, or
Yeah.
like a very very high level managers, and you may get there in your 70s or 80s if you're still working.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me, I wanted to have savings. We didn't have any savings. We had a good job. I'm not saying we were spending money on Louis Vuitton brands and like those expense. I never buy brands. I even when I was working in the oil field, I was 24 years old. I was making a lot of money, thousands of dollars in US dollars. And I was going with my friends to like London, and they would
Yeah.
be buying a pair of socks for like 800 pounds. I'm
Yeah.
like, why are you paying that much money for a pair of socks? No, it's because it's this brand. I'm like, I never do that. I would never
Yeah.
spend my money on brands. I don't believe in brands. My brand is my character. My brand is my education. My brand is my personality. I don't need to wear a Louis Vuitton bag to show people who I am.
Yeah.
I will show them with what I think and what my beliefs are. And if they are the same length as I am, they will be with me. And if not, that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's unique and everybody is respected the way they are. But we didn't have any savings. That was my first, reason, because for me, it wasn't easy to be working in a, job professionally, and you can have savings. Second of all, you don't have any job security in Canada. Even if you have a good job, let's say you're working. I have so many people in my team who are having professional careers. I have also so many people who are just they're just retiring or they're just starting off, they're like students, things like that. But I wanted to know that there is no security in many countries, many countries. There's no job securities. You have a job today and tomorrow you're gone. All you
Yeah.
get is just an escort by HR into a HR office, and
Yeah.
they just give you a letter that maybe that's enough for your 2 weeks pay, and that's it, you're done. If I was single, if I wasn't married, if I didn't have kids, that would be fine. But if you have kids and you have mortgage to pay and you have expenses to pay, can you
Absolutely.
imagine how scary that is when you have no backup plan?
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible. You have to have a backup plan. I know I talked to some stay-home moms and they're like, oh, my husband is rich, I don't need to work. And I'm like, yes, but what if something happens to him and he
Yeah.
can't produce? First of
Yeah.
all, as a human being, I was always independent. Always. I always, since I was 15 years old, I was working. I'm like, you know what? I
Right.
have to make my own money. I can't ask my parents for money. I'm big enough, right? And even my youngest sister, she's like my daughter. When she got to 15, I said, you know what? You have to go to work. And
Yeah.
in Iran, doing serving is not like in Canada. It's not something you can go and be a server in Iran, and we got her this very nice fancy cafe in a very nice like kind of old palace, king's palace and stuff, and she was serving coffee there, and I was taking my friends there, and I was so proud of her for doing that. And she was making extra cash, and it wasn't just the money. The experience got her to mature, because she got to learn how to survive in in an organization, with things people saying to her, and the customers, relationship and all that. And I got her to work even at 15. I hope and I pray I can do that to my kids, my own kids. But I really want them to start working at a very young age, because they have to be independent. So you cannot put your eggs in one basket, no matter what. Even if your money is coming from your parents, from your husband, from whatever. What if that money is ended?
Yeah.
You have to have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Online businesses are very flexible, because you can do it from your home. You don't need to have prior experience. Nobody's going to ask you for a resume here. Nobody's going to ask you, show me your resume, and what kind of job you have had before, or how old you are. If you are 70 or 60, forget about getting a job in Canada. You walk into any place and you're like, oh, we want to spend time and training someone who is like maybe in their 40s. So
Yeah.
it's very hard for senior people to get a job in Canada in the workforce, because because of their age. Here in online business, I have lots of people, hundreds of people over their 60s, and they're doing this business, right? So nobody's going to ask you for your resume. Nobody's going to ask you for your age. Nobody's going to ask you, which country you come from. There are some
Right.
countries like Iran, where I come from. Unfortunately, people cannot join this business. But
Yeah.
as long as you can speak English, as long as you have initial investment, which is really affordable in most of the countries, we have financing available. As long as you have a big desire to start your business, you're welcome,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever else is happening in your life.
Yeah.
So that was my why. I hope I have explained it well.
No, you have. And something you touched on, I actually faced that. I went to full-time school back in 2010, and I'm
Yes.
kind of giving my age away here. But when I tried to get a job after that, I was already in my 40s, and I
Yes.
was not getting a job. And other people who did the same exact course with me that were in their 20s, within a couple of weeks after they finished,
Yes.
they graduated, they got jobs. I
Yes.
tried for a whole year to get into HR.
Yeah.
did not get hired at all in
Yeah.
HR. And then
Yes.
finally, thankfully to me, somebody that I knew in TD, he was a
Yeah.
mortgage specialist, and he offered me this position because he knew I was looking for work. So I had to
Yeah.
actually change my fields. I didn't get
Yes.
into HR, I got into admin. And I
Yes.
always tell people it's not what you know, it's who you know kind of thing in a job field, because it's not easy to get hired. Even
Yes.
people that you migrate into a new country like Canada
Yes.
based on the point system. You're an engineer, you're a